Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. Thank you guys for being here. Welcome to the official Trade Talk channel where I show you how I analyze price for the most consistent and higher probable entries to help you guys become better traders. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin today. We actually have quite a bit of stuff to talk about, and we're going to keep our eyes peeled for a trade. So yesterday we were discussing. Hold on, let me get this situated. Get out of my way. All right, so yesterday we were talking about potential short entry on Bitcoin because of one thing. So this is the swing high right there, and what we were looking for, this price action has been garbage down here. Essentially what you have is you have the 200 weekly setting right under price, and the bulls are trying to defend that. And then anytime we get any kind of bullish momentum away from the 200 weekly, the sellers just step right back up. So, that is an issue. But what we were discussing yesterday is that first we were kind of looking for nothing, right? Because when we started to do what we did or started the stream yesterday, we were simply just waiting to see if a supply was formed intraday to potentially look to get long to target these wicks, or this wick. That's the highest wick in this sequence of price action. And then once we did that, here was the move up. We triggered that. We got a bearish response. I typically don't want to see a bearish response when we are breaking out or when we are clearing liquidity, because that typically seems more bearish than bullish to me. And when we threw this wick up, we did a few things. We made a fresh daily high, B, a fresh weekly high, and C, a fresh monthly high. So when you throw in a fresh monthly high and then you get a bearish reaction, even though it's intraday, it still tells me that, maybe we ain't looking for longs. Maybe we're looking for shorts. And we were watching resistance yesterday. And up until about 10 o'clock is when we actually closed the trade because we couldn't get anything going to the downside. Now, as you can see, price did trade up and it did create a new resistance, but it still struggled to get over the breakout point. This is the level where price needed to get to be a breakout essentially. And since it didn't do that, you got this, and now here we are. So we were watching yesterday's open for potential long entries if we were to stop there. So if we were going to see bullish continuation, I would have wanted to see this candle come down, tag that level, then get a bounce, and then over a period of a few hours find support and start to trade away. Instead, we broke right down through that level and had bearish continuation, and here we are. So essentially, what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to look for shorts. I am still bullish long term, so let's get this right out there right off the bat. I am not changing my bias. I am still bullish. I still think the trend has been, achieved to the upside. I think we do have the lows for a while. I'm not saying that it's going to be the bear market lows, but I'm treating it as though it could potentially be. So I am still kind of bullish as long as we're trading above last week's open. When I put out Saturday's upload, this was the level I said that we were going to be looking to see how price reacts once it gets there. We haven't got there yet. I kind of thought we were going to get there on Tuesday when we took this long trade. We didn't get there. So basically we had a nice bullish rally. Sellers kicked it right back down to support. Nice bullish rally. That lasted for a little while. Sellers kicked it right back down to support. And now the sellers are following it down. So we're probably going to be watching yesterday's open for an entry. You can see here that it's already tagged it. If we go look at the 2 hour, there's nothing. 4 hour, you have a resistance all the way up there. But in my opinion, yesterday's open is enough to get any kind of, bearish push that it needs. And our target is going to be Tuesday's low right there. So usually I take a trade and I'm scaling out profits at the low of day. This is the low of day right there. So if I were to get an entry there, which, it looks to me like maybe I have already missed that. But if we were to get an entry there, That's what we would initially be targeting as our first take profit. And then this last week's open would be a secondary take profit. This is where the liquidity is. So we want to get short, and so down here you have what? You have sellers, right? So if people want to sell down there, then I want to buy back my position from them because they're selling it cheaper, right? So yeah, we'll get short. We'll target that down there. And then, this will be our ultimate target, because I think once you trigger this liquidity, once you smoke these lows, you could tag that level and then immediately bounce. And that's essentially the last bullish case that I have for Bitcoin this week. If we lose that level, then, looking for the weekly low at the beginning of the week was the wrong move. We did take 2 successful trades back to back this week, one on Monday, one on Tuesday. And then now here we are. So we'll see if we're going to be right on the market right now. So give me 1 second, because I restarted my computer to log into my Bitget account, so that way I can throw a short limit or a sell limit at $22,994. Now that price is going to be different from Bitget, because this is the Coinbase exchange. And one thing you will notice if you're new at trading, all Bitcoin prices on different exchanges will be different. It's just the way it is. We do have market makers in there providing liquidity, and eventually that edge will be priced out of the market. Buying from one exchange, selling to the other in order to make that spread. That's essentially how market makers are providing liquidity. So when people say that they're going after their stops, they're just wrong. They don't understand anything about how the market works. So let's move forward. Let me get this logged in over here. Bear with me. All right. Password or account is wrong. What did I do? Oh, that's what I did. All right. So, yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to catch that entry, but this was the entry that we were looking at right there. Yesterday's open, that's where we were wanting to apply a short position. And for primary target would be today's low, secondary target last week's open. Because once you clear out this swing low right there, let me get rid of this freaking trend line. I don't even know why it's there. Which one of y'all put that trend line on my chart? Tell me now. Which one of you did it? No, I'm kidding. 22,659. That is the swing low that was put in on Tuesday. That once you tag that or get below that, there's going to be enough of a liquidity spike to go ahead and push price down into 22,583, 43, more than likely. All right. So understand, right? Me taking a short position today, maybe if it gets back up there, does not mean that I am bearish on Bitcoin. As long as price is struggling to get below the 200 week, that we have to look at that as kind of a bullish signal, not a real big bullish signal, because we've already been there and done that this week twice already. So I don't like that, right? When we get bullish moves, I do not want to see that entire move be sold off. We go over here and look at the daily, you're going to see yesterday we had a bullish engulfing on our hands. Well, that is until the day closed. We were trading all the way up in here yesterday, and this is where we closed. So not a bullish engulfing, and you're seeing downside continuation from that. So, this is the only place, in my opinion, that needs to be the target. You currently have yesterday's close as potential support. But down here is the level that we were watching to begin with. That is last week's open. If I come over here to the weekly candle, you're going to see that you are trading as an inside week candle. What an inside week candle is it's simply trading inside of the previous candle's range. An outside candle or a engulfing candle is when you take out the previous candle's high and low. So you can see this weekly candle has got zero momentum for expansion. And that's more bullish than bearish, in my opinion, if you look at the 2 weeks that we had before this week. bullish. Retest, bullish. It's not much of a higher close, but it's still a higher close nonetheless. It is bullish. And then today is Thursday, guys. The week is over, essentially. You got a couple more days of trading, but the CMEs is going to close tomorrow. And, is it possible that we get downside momentum today and we blast right through that target, that secondary target? Absolutely, because this thing hasn't moved, essentially. It has not went anywhere. It has been trading in this range all week. And yesterday, we liquidated the top end of the range. So today, we're targeting the bottom end of the range because, in my opinion, that's where she's going. Or it's going. It's not anything. It's price. All right, so that's what we're going to do. I don't know if you're going to get a bounce back up there, to be honest with you. 22,942. There's a lot of lines already on the chart. So what we want to see is we want to see price get back up here, and then we could take that entry. Let me go ahead and pop this open. If you take the entry now, you're chasing price. So please do not just FOMO into this at the bottom of today's range. You got to take the trade at resistance. Otherwise, we got to let it go without us, even though we think we know where it's going. Just do not follow or do not chase price. All right? Because it screws up your risk to reward, first and foremost, right? All right, so let's go talk about the other things while Bitcoin runs off without us. All right, so I wanted to see the DXY. Let's go get this bad boy. We got to talk about him. All right, so essentially, year to date, we are bullish on the dollar. Everybody knows it, right? The dollar has been nothing but an absolute monster to the upside all year. We have a series of pullbacks where the dollar got, bullish momentum. Pullback, bullish momentum, pullback, bullish momentum. So we just had a nice, couple 3-week pullback on the dollar. We got down to the end or the bottom of the expected range or the probabilistic expected range. I tightened these Bollinger Bands up a little bit because I wanted them to fit closely to my expected move indicator. And in order for that to happen, I had to tighten it up this much to get it, loosely resembling where the expected move should be. But I mean, even looking at it this way, you can see at the bottom of the range, you traded up to the top of it and you're getting a pullback. But will this hold, right? Will this hold? We did put a bullish engulfing at support. That is usually a fantastic bullish signal, especially if your asset's in an uptrend. You have just been, you just briefly got down below the 50 and you're back above it again. Is it possible that this is a bull trap? 100% yes. Is it possible that it is not? 100% yes. It's anybody's guess what it does. But on this signal, I get bullish. If I see this signal on any chart, any asset, I'm bullish. I'm looking for a pullback into support. Currently, we have daily demand at 105.82. I think if you were to get down there, it'd be a fantastic place to look for bullish entries. And yeah, you're going to be targeting higher prices. We will see, we got weekly supply up here. And we did kind of get close to that. And that's where we got our first initial pullback after the bullish engulfing. But chances are, if this thing closes bearish today, tomorrow will be a fantastic time to look for bullish entries on the dollar. I will stop being bullish on the dollar again if we get below daily support. So if we get below 105.408, I'll be looking for sell trades. I am still short the dollar versus the Japanese yen. So we'll see if that plays out. Another couple things that we're looking at here is Aussie dollar. We traded right up to daily supply today, and we are getting that bearish reaction that we wanted to see. You can see that flawless test of supply right there, 100% perfection. Then we opened last hour, and last hour it acted like you were going to see bullish continuation because when I posted the picture in the damn chat, let me see if I can find it. Shit. I only posted it on a daily. Anyways, let me open the original. Let me bring this over here. So you're going to see this when it loads up. This was the picture that I posted this morning. Look at this right there. Right there. I mean, you don't get any better test than that. We already know that I'm short biased this asset because I took a short entry where that red line is. So when price trades up into the level, I push this, post this picture saying you guys need to be on alert for this thing. And then this is the move that you would want to see, right? Entry there, stop up in here somewhere. And so far, so good. And also, if the dollar does continue that bullish move off of that bullish engulfing candle, Aussie, Euro, Pound, all going to get weak again. And so will Bitcoin. Another asset that we need to talk about is the SPX. This is weekly resistance. And look what a reaction you're getting off of that weekly resistance. Do you get any better than that? No, you don't. That is a flawless test of it. You're getting a slight bearish reaction. If you are bearish, the SPX, then you will be looking for puts or whatever it is that you trade real closely to that. Now, it is bullish on the day, but just barely. So I like this short setup. Take the short on SPX, target intraday resistance or intraday support for primary target. Take off 2/3 of the position, move your stops to break even, and then see what happens. Let's go look at the daily time frame on this asset real briefly. You can see that is not daily resistance. It is weekly resistance. That's why you have a couple daily closes above it. But I mean, this is fantastic. It just smoked everybody that got short already. This is typical behavior, typical market behavior. People do not have patience. They want to short every single day. So those people that were shorting every single day are now stopped out. And now is the time to potentially look for that trade. Here is the weekly resistance for you to see. Remember, this lower little line is hourly supply. I don't know if the trade will work. It could find support and go straight back to the moon. It's anybody's guess what the markets will do. I'm just showing you the setups, and it's up to you to trade them or not. And Bitcoin, is it moving back up? Is it going to give us a test? No, it is not. No, it is not. So Bitcoin is probably left without us. It's going to be impossible for me to nail these times because if the move happens at 8 o'clock before the damn live stream, then I can't do anything about that. And if it happens at 10:30 after the live stream, which is going to be on rare occasions, can't do nothing about that. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. You still got a lot of support down here. You still got the 200 simple weekly down there. Lots of support. This trade could end up being bullish today, like the last 2 days, right? It's unlikely at this point because, when you can't get any momentum going, when you've had really nice bullish moves off of a specific level, I mean, that just smells of a reversal, right? Smells of a reversal. It looks like we have liquidated the weekly high, set in a fresh monthly high, and now we're rolling over. Not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a fresh monthly low and then an expansion to the upside. So we're not always right as far as our directional bias is concerned, but it doesn't matter if you're still able to get, perfect 2-to-1, 3-to-1 risk to reward trades out of it. All right. Good morning, y'all. It's Heath, the man who inspired Madonna's legendary song Like a Virgin. Good morning, Wes. Morning, boss. Morning, fam. Afternoons. Sir, I have to find another exchange because I can no longer trade futures on Binance in France. I hate regulation. Are you happy with Bitget? Is it a good thing that Bitget is based in Singapore? Not necessarily. I mean, I live in America, so when I'm trading on exchanges, obviously I would much rather them be in America because when you put your funds in an offshore brokerage or an exchange, there is that potential that you lose every single cent you deposit into it because there is no regulations. So as far as Bitget goes, as a trading application, as a trading platform, I absolutely love it. They have the lowest fees out of every other exchange in the world, right? Their executions are flawless. Whatever price you want to enter at, you're going to get pretty close to that no matter the size position you take, which is, good for big position holders. It sucks when you try to get in at a specific price and slippage fills you all over the boat. You know what I'm saying? That's never good. So yeah, I mean, so far, I love the exchange. That's why I shill it. There is a link in the description. If you use the link, Make sure you use code XTSC. That is X-Ray Tango Sierra Charlie. But yeah, I love it, and I don't have any problem with shilling it. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty good exchange. I mean, we've traded on a lot of them, right? We were trading on KuCoin, and then KuCoin, their fees just started to get really insane. You know, if you got a position that you have that shows you that your unrealized profit is a 13%, like 13% unrealized, that's big, right? A return on investment or return on that specific trade, 13% is a massive trade. When you close out the trade and you still lose money, like I'm like, you know, $75 less than when I took the trade and I was up 70 or up 13% on the move. How the hell did I lose money? That's ridiculous. That's why we left. Right? That's why we left. Now, obviously, the more leverage you use, even on Bitget, you're going to get smacked with big fees. If you use low leverage and use limit entries, limit exits, the fees are good, right? Small leverage. The bigger the leverage, the bigger the fees. All right? So Bitcoin's going on down. Damn it. It really sucks because I would have entered there. Yeah, I mean, it didn't tag yesterday's open, but it was close enough. I would have definitely just gone ahead and thrown in a limit. And typically when I put my limit orders in, I do put them, like if I'm looking to short, I'll put it below the level just in case this happens. Because sometimes these levels will get front ran or they just won't get there, right? And typically I'm not trying to miss the trade either. So we'll see if it comes back up there. If it does, we'll watch it closely because I won't like it, you know, putting in this move and then coming right back. Obviously, it hasn't went anywhere, so it's not really a big move. But, you know, that was the level we were looking for short entries. And let me see here. Yeah, I didn't post a picture anyway, so it don't matter. I was basically just telling, you know, say watch yesterday's open. That could be the place to get short on Bitcoin. And the reason is because bulls can't get nothing going here. Nothing going. And this is, you know, this is the ultimate level that I stay bullish on. And to be honest, that's not bearish, man. Even though we've been closing bearish candles for 7 days, well, 6 days, today will be the 7th day. It still doesn't look exceedingly bearish to me. What it does look like is that there's just no momentum either way, right? I mean, if you're going to get 6 bearish days, at least have them be like big bearish days, right? That way we can make some money. We don't make money if we can't get these ranges to open up. Yeah, so it sucks. It is what it is. And we missed our entry. So this is the primary target. We're going to go ahead and throw it on the chart right there. I mean, it's almost a given at this point. I'll just throw an alert there. Sorry, you know what I mean? I tried to get here in time for that entry. That would have looked great. Let's see, Aussie dollar is getting a move back up. Not yet. You might not get a move back up into 1 hour supply right there. But that would be a good spot to look for potential short entries. That's my original short position. I am still holding that. USD JPY had a bullish rally for a few days. Nothing major. I was actually looking for it to trade up to the weekly level for a re-entry, if you will, to take the trade back to the upside. And look at that. I mean, that not really good, right? That's a big wick to the downside. If this thing closes bullish, buyers are going to be all over this thing moving on next week into next week. One other thing I wanted to talk about on the dollar here, other than the fact that, you know, there's signs of a potential near-term bullish trade because of the bullish engulfing at the bottom end of the range down here. If you're new to the stream, go ahead and say it real quick. We're kind of looking for bullish entries based on the fact that the dollar's been bullish all year. It's in an obvious uptrend. This is a nice pullback, and we got a signal of a bullish engulfing on the daily. And yesterday and today both have been pulling back. So we're kind of looking for this thing to find support somewhere. Before I can take a long entry, it would have to be down there. Down here would be the best place for me to take a long entry, but if it gets down there, I might consider looking for shorts on the euro, trading it up to at least weekly supply. So this move here, from there to there, and then wait to see what happens. Because if we go to the monthly on the dollar, doesn't really look that bullish, does it? That is a nasty, nasty wick. This is a monthly candle. So, monthly wicks can sometimes provoke a reversal response. It doesn't mean that that's selling pressure necessarily, but retail or other traders take it as such. So as of right now, but you're only 3 days into this month, you're trading as an inside month. But if you find resistance somewhere and then you come down here and you take out last month's low, this is probably going to be a trend reversal on the dollar, which is what I was kind of looking for. But at the same time, we got to wait for that to happen. That would also be bullish on Bitcoin and the SPX, right? You're still bullish on the day. You tagged weekly res, so SPX coming into that 41.59 spot 50 level. That's the place for potential short entries. Let me go over here to the real SPX, because that right there is for CFD trading. This is the real SPX. Let me get to the daily and so I can show you what I've done. Essentially, I have taken this little red trend line and turned it into the low end of the expected range, right? So I have an indicator on Thinkorswim that allows me to plot the option market's priced in move for the week. It's called the weekly expected move. The options market prices in the volatility and everything, and then what it calculates is you either get a $100 move higher or a $100 move lower. That is your probabilistic expected range. What happened? Uh-oh. What is going on here? Page unresponsive. No kidding. Well, let's do it this way if we can. Bloop. Get out of here. Thank you. Alright, where were we? SPX expected move. Oh, and of course it didn't save it. Oh, there it is. Alright, so, and that's basically what I did with the Bollinger Bands. I just tightened up the range so that way it would kind of come in line there. Obviously, it's not, right? I understand that, but there's no settings in the Bollinger Bands that I can get where that's going to be the top of the expected range and that's the bottom. But, I mean, if you have Thinkorswim, all you got to do is open up your options or your trade tab, all products. Every product you type in there, it's going to basically pull up your weeklies, or your expiration dates, and you want to go to Friday's expiration, every Friday's expiration, and then over on the right hand side you'll see the expected move in dollars. So what is Friday's date? Today's Thursday, so it'd be the 5th of August. So the 5th of August, they had a $51 move priced in. That was at the start of Monday. They had a $51 move priced in. So $51 higher or $51 lower, and that would be from the close of Friday. So that's your close there. So that close on Friday would be the exact middle of the expected move or the expected range. And, we haven't gotten anywhere. But today you're going to open up higher. So 42.08 is the top end of the expected move. Now if we go to the CFDs, what was it? 42.08. I think I just said that. Or 42.08, 42.10. So you're not quite there. But it seems like it's running out of steam. But the market opens at 9:30, so we'll see what it does. Bitcoin struggling to become red on the day still, and getting a bounce. Like I said, that 200 is down there, and we have to respect it. So let's get back up there, see what we got. Where's yesterday's open once again? I mean, yesterday's open. It's right there. Boom. All right, baby. Come on up, see daddy. Come on up. I got something for you. All right, so maybe we will get a trade off this. SPX into resistance unless we blast through it. That looks ugly for Bitcoin. Yeah, it does. I mean, we got a target of $22,659 for today. And then we'll go from there. If DXY is bullish, BTC is supposed to be bearish, correct? Not always, but yes, generally speaking. Euro USD, it was acting bearish based on the news. We had the British pound rate decision this morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's what the pound did. Plop. I mean, it was a flawless entry. Perfect, beautiful short trade. You don't get no better than that, right? Wait a minute. What is going on here? Oh, there it is. It's different on Forex.com. On Oanda, you had a run above the swing highs, the liquidity. That was, what, a few days ago's high right there. You run above that liquidity, boom. As soon as you get back under, that's your short entry. Stop above that, and boom, you're done for the day. It was nice. It was nice, but I missed it. Euro looked like it was having a similar reaction based on that news as well, but you're getting a pullback. So the euro might find resistance right where it's at currently. So, I mean, I typically like for the body of the candle to be tested, but, I mean, could you take a short entry there and target the wick low? Would it equal a 2-to-1 risk to reward? Well, let's see. I generally wouldn't take that trade. Yeah, it's really close. It's exactly 2.5 to 1. I would wait on the body before taking the trade unless the 5-minute just struggles. Not this first candle, like the next and the next candle struggles to get above it. Then you could potentially take that short entry there, and you're just targeting that wick low there. And it is a 2-to-1 risk to reward, right? Same goes for the Aussie dollar. Same goes for all dollar pairs currently. But if this is a false move on the dollar, if that bullish engulfing is just a fake out, or if the sellers jump back in on it because, you know, they want risk to be on, then the dollar will break down out of that uptrend, and then I'll be, you know, even more bearish than I already am on it. And I was bearish on it for the last couple weeks. It's not like I'm just, you know, just getting bearish on it now. We got bearish on the dollar at the highs. So as far as Euro USD goes, run DMC, you're going to be watching 1.01887, and that would potentially be your short entry, and you would be targeting the wick low. I don't think that's low of day. It is not, because your London session put in the low of day. I mean, if this is just a pullback, it was one vicious pullback, right? Because it was bullish. When the London session opened, it put in the low of day and up. And it was up with a passion. So this is just a news candle. And trading news candles is tricky. And you got to be cautious because these moves typically get faded. And you can see right now the move is being faded. Faded just means, you know, you get the big news move and then it goes right back to where it was when the news happened. That's called a fade. And they are trying to fade it right now. But that's the price. That's the target right there. We'll keep it on watch, as well as, let's put Bitcoin on this one. We'll put Euro on this one because it's a potential short setup, man. No doubt. No doubt. Let me give it on the hourly so I can draw the lines. Hourly res, hourly demand, supply, there, intraday, there. It's bouncing off of the wick low, the supply candle's wick. Sometimes that'll happen, but, not really something that I watch. You know what, let's just do it like this. That way there's no guessing. There you go, SPX up above supply. It is bullish, so taking a short trade off of the weekly test is against the trend, or even against the intraday, but it's not bullish by much. It's only up 0.25%. So that's why I said we may be keeping an eye on this for a potential entry. What time is it? It's 8:38, so we got an hour before the market open, right? An hour before the market open. What do we want over here? What do we want to look at over there? Aussie dollar. Well, here, let's do this real quick. For anybody that's new and doesn't know where the entry is for the short trade on the USD JPY, it's up here. This is where we got bearish on the dollar, right up there. So essentially we shorted it and we've gotten the entire pullback. We have been short from the highs. So it is possible that this is the low, right? Because it's in an uptrend as well. If you look at that chart year to date, it's bullish. Right there. That's your year to date chart. It's extraordinarily bullish. But yeah. No, we want Aussie dollar. There we go. Aussie dollar. We need to get the levels that we're watching on it as well. So basically Aussie dollar, SPX, and Euro USD, even Bitcoin. Well, no, Bitcoin's a different setup. All three posting the same exact setup. Same exact setup. Pull back in from resistance, and you put in a bearish move. Now you're just seeing if the bulls kick it back up. Like if you close above resistance, you scratch the trade. That's an immediate, right? That's when you know you're wrong. An hourly close above that resistance level, you're scrapping the trade. Euro is struggling here. But it's not looking great. That move has almost been completely faded. Bitcoin moving up, but not where I want the entry. So we'll keep it on watch. Remember, 9:30, you're going to get a big move, right? That's when the last bit of the volume comes in for the day. Bitget is the best leverage platform. Well, I'm not going to say any different. I can't say which is the best, but I know one thing. Bitget has cheaper fees than Bitget. So, I guess the best leverage platform is a subjective term, right? Nothing worth arguing over, that's for sure. But I like Bitget, and they pay me. You see what I mean? So, yeah, I'm a shill. I'm a shill. I'm shilling their link. So it is an affiliate program. But I did it because they're, as far as I'm concerned, the best exchange for intraday traders that I could find. Are you a long buyer today at 22,585? No, I'm not a long buyer on Bitcoin today. We tried to get long Monday, Tuesday, and we didn't get any continuation. We picked the low of the week at that time. So, if Bitcoin was going to be bullish, we would want to see price trading away from our entry, not back to it. I was stopped out on Bitcoin Tuesday night. So when I went yesterday morning, I was stopped out of the position when I woke up. So sometime from Tuesday when we took that trade here during the live stream, we took Bitcoin together. I gave you entries, stop, everything. That trade worked out beautifully. And then I woke up and I was stopped out. I don't like that kind of price action because you're not getting continuation. There goes the euro. Euro has completely faded the news. This is your news open right there, 7 o'clock. You are at the open of that candle. So be careful looking for shorts here. That also means the dollar is doing the exact opposite of this right now. Aussie falling. That's what you want to see right there. Aussie might be the best trade. I'm not going to take a new entry on it because that'll destroy my cost basis. My short entry is there. So, but you guys are more than welcome to if you wish. Right? You didn't get a test of the level either yet, so keep that in mind as well. And the SPX is trading above your entry if you just blindly threw out a limit buy there. I mean, a limit sell. That's why we wait, right? We don't just throw a random limit sell there. We wait to see how it's reacting to it. Oh, shoot, that's the wrong one. So this would look like this. We would want to see 5-minute come in and reject, not close above it. We want to see that 5-minute push up, reject, next 5-minute push up, reject, and then so on and so forth until it starts to drift lower. Then you can, if you get that kind of reaction where you have like 15 minutes, 20 minutes of struggling price to get above that level, then the next time you tag it, throw a short out there on it, right? That's the best way. If you just throw a straight limit sell or a limit buy at a level, you're just going to get ran over because price sometimes don't stop at those levels, right? Remember, everything works in trading, just not all the time. And that goes for my strategy as well. I don't have a 100% hit rate. I wish I did. That'd be nice. But hit rate's high. It's just not 100%. Sometimes my bias is just wrong. The human aspect of it is just wrong sometimes. Price action will usually show its hand, at least by 9:30 anyways. Move everything out of the way over here. Oh, let's go look at something. So let's use this one. We also talked about trade on Snapchat the other day. And let's see how that thing's doing. Pre-market, we're at 10.39. That's pretty nice considering we were looking at $9.48. So, boom, boom. Nice continuation on that one. Let's look at them intraday there. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. This was the day we took the trade or talked about the trade, discussed the trade. Unfortunately, by the time the market opened, you wouldn't have been able to buy. Well, you could have bought $9.50 call options, but the option market didn't open until 3 or 4 minutes after the stock market opened. So you probably would have been buying $9.50 calls around $9.70 or something. But still, I mean, if you bought those, you're up a whole buck on however many. That's a nice chunk of change. That's not freaking bad, man. Not bad. Nice move to the upside. We just did it off of weekly support. This weekly support has been support for a very long time on Snap. You have not been able to close a weekly candle below it since it was put in, and that's that $9.48 level. Just fantastic stuff. So we were like, yeah, probably going to be a good place to look for bullish entries, and it did work out pretty good. Pre-market, you're gapping up. All right, so let's get SPX back over here, and I will listen to some questions. Bitcoin is stalling out again. I wanted to come back up and test the level that I want, so that way I can get short, because then my risk will be, easy, right? Up here, my risk will be easy. Down here, my risk is all the way up there, so it screws the risk to reward, if you will. And we still got, a good 45 minutes before the market opens. It's generally nice when the trade starts to work immediately. Euro is stalling out. So now what we would do is you would just wait for another test of this level, assuming this 5-minute candle closes under it, and then we'll take that short trade as well. I don't like the fact that the news was completely sold off and the fact that the dollar is bearish right now. It isn't. I mean, it is. Where is it? Yeah, it is. It's down 0.11%. So the dollar's bearish on the day. That also is concerning for taking short Bitcoin trades at the bottom of the range. We were bullish at this price, or at these prices, all week. The only thing that's changed is the bulls couldn't get any momentum going. I mean, we've been buying this level all week. So we'll keep it up. We'll keep it looking at it. We'll see what happens here. Let's get back down on the 5-minute. See how all this plays out. All right. Let me answer some questions. Good morning, Jay Bradley. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the show. The greatest show on earth. That's stretching it a bit, but welcome. I read that. Yeah, but yeah, am I a long buyer today at 22,858? So 22,858 is right in here. So I can't imagine. I mean, it's support, right? No. Is it 4-hour support? I can't imagine why you chose that price specifically. Right there's why. That's, you got an old support level down there, but I mean, that support was broken with this candle. So if anything, like, that's where you would want to be a buyer if you were a buyer. If you were assuming, see how you did not close under the level on the 5-minute, stopped us from taking the short trade, and with probably good reason. If it liquidates this swing high and then starts to roll over, we can take that as well. Right? We don't have to do, we can let the market show us the way it wants to go, since we don't know. Right? Since it's impossible for us to know which way the market will go, we kind of have to let it show us a little bit about what it's trying to do. Got 9 minutes left on the close. You close above the supply, then the next level that it's more than likely wanting to test will be resistance, and then it doesn't look so good, right? It won't look so good as a short. Same for Bitcoin. The fact that we got a bearish reaction off of yesterday's open, which is the level that we were watching for the short entry, getting right back to it doesn't necessarily bode well for a short position, but it is still early. Like yesterday when we were trying to short it, it played with us really, really good. Let's go talk about it since we got more new people in here. Yesterday we were looking for a short trade on Bitcoin just because it made a fresh weekly, monthly, daily high and then got an instant bearish reaction. So what we were doing is we were watching the oldest or the highest intraday resistance level, and we were looking for short entries there. And as you can see, it literally did not do what we wanted it to do until 4 o'clock in the day is when it finally broke down. All right. So it didn't really do what we wanted it to do, but the ultimate thing that we were looking to happen happened. And now we're just looking for continuation of that. We are targeting this wick low because yesterday we liquidated the top end of the weekly range, which was this high. This was the weekly high, fresh weekly high. So since we rejected that and rolled over, we're targeting the weekly low. Yes, my love. Why do you always come in when mommy leaves? It's like clockwork. All right. Just hang out with me for a second. So that's what we're going to watch. 7 minutes on the close. 7 minutes on the close. And then let's see what this one looks like on the close. This still looks legit. This still looks good to me. Because you're still trading inside of that hourly bearish candle. You did not take out the candle's high. It looks like you're trying to, but you haven't yet. So we'll see. All right. Thank you for advising. You are welcome. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Does Bitget support API so it is possible to use? Yeah, I think so. I can't say for sure that it does, but I mean, it has copy trading, so if it has copy trading, it almost has to support API, right? Bitcoin is at our level, getting close to it. That is yesterday's open right there. Shit. Nope, right there. And for the first target, it is today's low. You target today's low first, and then the secondary target will be this down there, which is the liquidation. But it may just get bullish all of a sudden, because remember, the 200 is right here. Right here. See that? That's your 200 weekly. Never mind the spike up. That's just what it does on the small time frames. But that is your 200 weekly right through there. That's why you're having difficulty with the short trade. But I'm almost willing to bet that even if we do become bullish, at some point today, this thing will probably become bearish again. We don't have any news to speak of. Let me verify that before I say that. Economic calendar. Yeah, I mean, yeah, all we had was the BOE interest rate decision. That's already come and gone. We got balance of trade, but that's already come and gone. And then there's nothing else for the rest of the day, all the way up until the evening. And then you will have the RBA monetary statement. So yeah, I mean, not a lot of high impact news event on the docket for today. So it's just going to be price action. Can you please go do an analysis on Tesla on all your streams, please and thanks? I mean, yeah, I usually do. Michelle asks for it almost every time. Pre-market, you're gapping up above the high from the other day. That's good. But here's the thing. It is the highest high in this sequence of price, and you have daily res right there. Oh, I mean, be very careful about taking longs above 922, because there's a really good chance that it liquidates that and then rolls right over, right? We're looking for the SPX and everything to roll over. We're actually looking for the dollar to become bullish, but it is not happening. Not yet. But we're waiting to see if it does. All right. Just be careful buying it above there. Now, if you're buying Tesla for a long-term hold, that's different. Right? But if you're trying to buy it as a day trade, then you're probably going to be either sitting on your hands for the majority of today or looking to take a short trade once daily res is initiated. Let me go let my cat out. I'll be right back. It's like he comes in to tell me she has gone. Now let me out. Okay. All right. Thank you for that astute wisdom, my friend. All right. I use bots to execute my take profits and move stop losses after entering a trade. Nice. Yeah, if you're a coder, you can absolutely code this strategy. No problems. 100%. But I'm not a coder. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Heath. Can you please do... Oh, we just did that. Good morning. I love you, Heath, just for one reason. You hide nothing. You know what you're doing. Awesome. That sounds like two reasons, but thank you, man. Boss, can we look at BNB? Yeah, let's go look at BNB. Wait, what is this? We don't want to destroy the Bitcoin chart. We'll destroy the Aussie chart. BNB. Because we're already short Aussie, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so we got 1 minute on the hourly close down here, and up here. We're just kind of waiting to see what happens. Hourly close on Bitcoin is not really going to tell us anything because your last hourly close is up there at 22,960. If you close above that, then obviously that changes things a little bit, right? But we know traps exist, so we're not completely 100% giving up on the short trade just yet. All right, BNB. Looks just like Bitcoin, almost identical to Bitcoin's price chart, but not on the weekly. On the weekly, Bitcoin's only had 2 bullish weeks, and we're trading on this week currently. So BNB looks good. I mean, you're closing weeklies higher each time, right? Each time. That's bullish continuation on the weekly range. I wouldn't be a buyer up here because you risk the fact that this thing is potentially going to roll over any day now. You're overbought on the RSI. That means you're well above the 20. So I would watch daily support 45.62. That would be the first place that I would watch to see if it starts to hold as support. Next place is down here, 39 bucks, right? You don't have any weekly bearish candles, so you can't get a support off the weekly. These are your 2 places to look for potential bullish entries. The 21 is currently underpriced, so kind of helping that move to the upside, right? Closed above supply, that's okay. If you get back under 41.59 spot 50 and you stay under it, you could still take the short at that level. You put your stop up above the bearish candles high. But, give it a minute because you still got not 30 minutes before to open. And then you want to kind of give that another 15 minutes because the first move or the first 15 minutes isn't always going to be the direction. But yeah, there's really nothing to do on BNB. I wouldn't short it either because, although it is into an area of resistance, a lot of it, it's one of those things, right? It's more than likely going to do what the overall market does. Even though it's trading almost differently, right? They will trade on their own merits. But there's just, in my opinion, there's nothing to do. You're trying to short something that is showing you nothing but bullish continuations. It's not necessarily a good trade. And then on the other side of the ball, the bullish trade, you gotta wait. That's it. You gotta wait. So hopefully that helps. Look at how the euro closed. Nice. That is nice. All right, so we might get ready to execute a trade on the euro. Let's go ahead and do that. We want to sell short. Wait a minute here. All right, so yeah, we'll go ahead and take that. We'll give it it's not going to be a 25 pip stop. It's going to be more like a 15 pip stop for now, or a 10. But I do want it to get back to here. I don't want to chase it. As far as Bitcoin goes, it's where we want it, but it's not quite there. We got to get it up here. There's nothing for me to take this short. Nothing. SPX dropping back below. Same thing occurring on this. Yeah, looks like you're gonna get bearish continuation. Don't want to chase this trade. It's just because I was looking at B&B and it wasn't ready. So let's get it on an uptick if we can. So 1.01878. And we want to sell that with a 10 pip stop, risking 1%. Boom, boom. Oh, we got to get that up a little bit right there. Boom. So we'll see if we get filled on that. Oh, we got filled on that right there. Filled, filled, filled. Stop losses in place. We shall see what happens from here. Not the best setup in the world. It looks good on the hourly. What I don't like is that the news was faded. And SPX dropped back down. So now, you're going to be waiting for a pullback back into 41.59.50. Bitcoin still has not reached the level we wanted it to. I mean, it's just nothing there. And there's still 20 minutes until the open, until the New York session. Why can't your bullishness stay intact if we go back below ascending channel? Okay, back below the ascending channel. I'm not a pattern trader, Will. So I don't... Oh, shit. I am not a pattern trader, right? So when you ask me questions like that, I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So maybe this... I don't know what you mean by that. As long as we're trading above last week's open, I am bullish. If we start trading below that, then I don't really have that bullish bias anymore, because what happens is if we get... All right, let me just pull this up over here. So you got to look at the price charts as what they really are and not what, you want it to be. Inverse head and shoulders, cup and handles, all that nonsense. Throw that out, because none of that makes anything work. All right, so why would I not be bullish anymore if we close, or, not close, but if we break down below this? The reason is simple. It's because now it looks like the higher probability is that we're going back down to test this, right? These charts are traded day by day. That's why some days you're bullish and some days you're bearish, because each and every second that happens, each and every day, there is new orders coming into the market based on new information. So like, I can't really explain what I'm trying to say. Like, you looking at a head and shoulders pattern that happened, all the way over here, like none of this even matters anymore. This has already happened, and we're not taking trades, and nobody's taking trades based on any of this info, right? Nobody. The professionals are looking at the current range that you're in, be it the daily, the weekly, the monthly. So we just opened a new month and a new week, and it's Thursday. So we're still trying to find the low of the week, or maybe it's next week we find the low of the month. Like early on, like say Tuesday next week, we'll probably be looking for support, but we're not going to be like as bullish as we were at the beginning of the week, looking for the weekly low. So right now you're trading inside of last week's candle body. All right. You literally haven't got anything going on the bullish or bearish side. So like, I don't care about any channels or bear flags or any of that. What I'm doing is I'm operating inside of the range, the daily, weekly, monthly range. I'm a day trader, so obviously my bias can change from day to day depending on what is going on during the market hours, during the trading sessions. So if we lose this price, then it looks to me like you could get a big bearish move all the way back down to there. If we hold this price, then our target is here, right? Does that make sense? If this price holds, we are definitely looking for a range expansion to the upside. We tried that trade twice this week already. That bullish upside off of the weekly open. And both times prices come right back to the weekly open. That's why today I'm a little less bearish than I was Monday and Tuesday. Right? And that's how professional traders operate. They don't care about head and shoulders, cup and handles, ascending wedges, descending wedges, triangles, none of that. None of that stuff matters. You can look at it and you can use it to help you with a directional bias, right? For instance, if you break down below a trend line, that could suggest that you're looking for lower prices, right? Because your trend, this is the current uptrend, because this low was higher than that low, this high was higher than that high. So you have a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So currently your trend has changed and it is bullish. If you break down below that trend line, then obviously your trend has changed. And then you can look for sell trades back up in resistance. But as long, that's about the only way that I would use those trend lines. Just focus on your weekly and daily ranges for now, or weekly ranges. So like this strategy works no matter what style of trader you want to be. If you work a full-time job, say you work more than anybody, say you put in 70 hours a week at your job and you do not have the ability to sit in front of a price chart all day like I do, you can trade on a monthly basis. Every month, when you get off of work, every new month you wait till the end of the day when you get home and you see what is it doing for that first week, because because I've told you that usually the high or low of a month is normally set pretty close into the monthly range, and that goes the same for the week. Usually, not always, usually the high or low is already set by Tuesday or Wednesday. Your high or low is in, right? And then you can make trading decisions based off that, and you can just place one trade per month. You can trade this strategy no matter your time frame, your time preference. If you want to be a day trader like me, then I take into account where is it currently in the monthly range, where is it currently in the weekly range, what did we do yesterday, what do I think it's going to do today, and I use that info and I take trades based off daily levels. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. And it is the most effective way to trade. That is why I trade this way. I have tried all other strategies. When I first got started, that was the first thing that I was looking at too. Head and shoulders, all these technical analysis books, head and shoulders patterns, just all of them. And I could never get a profitable strategy to work. It wasn't until I became consistent in the way that I executed my orders, that's when things started to turn around, because then I had data to show me what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong. So I've essentially honed this edge as sharp as it can be, right? And it's simple. And in markets, simple is always better. Always, always, always. Bitcoin's pushing up to yesterday's open. And we got 20 minutes until the open of the New York session. Let's get Aussie dollar back over here. See, this is on forex.com. They have gaps. This traded all the way up to there, closed, and then when Sunday rolled around, this thing opened all the way down there. So you had a massive gap down on Aussie. Just tagged yesterday's open just now. So, yeah, we're going to watch this. I guess one could set a limit order there and see what happens, right? Let's set a limit order there and just see what happens. Or that's actually a fill. Well, I just got filled, not necessarily wanting to, but that's what happened. The SPX looks good, right? But all you've done is tested support. So now what we want to see is we want to see intra hour, if you will. Let me put that support up there so you can see what I'm thinking, what I'm talking about. So like that support, that's the close. You just came down, you tested that support after closing above supply. See how it's like kind of telling you a story, right? It's like a book and you're reading it. So you have tested support. Now you're getting a bounce. As long as you are not closing candles back above 41.59.50, you can short it. Stop up there. Will the trade work? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, because I don't know what's going to happen 5 seconds from now. If I did, I would be a trillionaire. There's a guy that I read a story on once that was his edge. He had a broker that was lagged by like 3 minutes from another broker. So he would take trades based off of future knowledge that he knew the other broker was going to do. And he traded like that for a year and was like extremely successful before the brokerage realized what was going on. It was just a data feed lag or something. This was back, years ago, before computers were as predominant as they are today. Back then computers were nothing compared to what we even hold in our hands nowadays. But I can't remember the dude's name. But yeah, that would be fantastic. He essentially was taking trades based off of knowledge that he already knew. So if I just knew what was going to happen 2 seconds from now, I could generate an edge and be the richest person in the world. But we don't. We don't have that. So we have to do it based off of our edge. Aussie dollar looking good. It's rolling over. It's what we wanted to see. You never did test that supply. Euro rolling over, looking good. That's what we want to see. Now we want to see Bitcoin rolling over, looking good. That's what we want to see. But it ain't happening on Bitcoin yet. May not happen on Bitcoin. Why can you push? Okay, that's the one I just answered, and I didn't quite understand it. We just bouncing off upper and lower again and again. Yeah, that's called range bound trading, right? Good morning. Would you show the current BTC range on the daily? It looks like we broke it, but no follow through. Yeah, that's essentially what we've got going on with Bitcoin. We have been trading inside of a very small weekly range. Yesterday, we set a new weekly and monthly high and immediately was rejected. That's why I was looking for bearish trades yesterday. It just took all day for it to play out. So we didn't take it. It wasn't successful, right? So now today, we're just looking for that to continue because the lower edge of the range is still intact. So I will throw on daily on Bitcoin right there. Let me use Bybit because I keep forgetting about that thing. All right, so here is the daily or Bitstamp. Yeah, so yesterday we put in a bullish engulfing, but up until 4 o'clock we were trading up in here, and then 4 o'clock happened and we got a massive bearish move, and then we ended up closing the day bearish. That's never good. Today you're currently trading inside of yesterday's range. So what we're doing is we are looking for Tuesday's low. That is our target right there. Today's low first. That's your initial take profit. Second target there. Stop is going to have to be above that swing high, unfortunately. Getting a move off of the daily. Yesterday's open. That's this price right there. And that's it. Right? That's it. Those are the only levels you need to know. Right there. Because it tells you the story. The bears showed up at 4 o'clock yesterday. Whatever reason it was for it, it happened. Euro looking nice. SPX looking nice. Bitcoin still looks like crap. But this is what I want to see on Bitcoin, because this is going to be primary target. That is when you will take profits, move stops to break even. Right? We got 15 minutes until the New York session open. This can all change then. At 9:30, you can get a bullish candle that just goes straight to the moon. That's why you got to be, you got to mind your surroundings, essentially. You got to know what time it is. Generally, I'm looking for trade. Before I started doing these live streams, I was looking for trades from 7 to 10 in the morning. 10 o'clock is my cut off point. After 10, I don't trade. Because 7 to 10, that's the honey hole. That's when your banks open. That's when your bank volume hits the floor. That's, then 9:30 rolls around stock market, and then that's when the last bit of volume comes in. And then you'll be on the right side of the daily range, so that day can go ahead and play out in your direction. Place entries is hard, right? Entries is hard because you don't know what's going to happen. You just have to trust your strategy, trust your system. But right now you're trading as an inside day on Bitcoin, right? Just chopping around. Didn't take out yesterday's high, which you probably won't, because yesterday's high was only taking out Monday, Tuesday's high. Yesterday's high was essentially the fresh weekly high, and that's why our bias changed, because of the bearish reaction we got as soon as that happened. I mean, as soon as that happened, you got a big bearish candle. And that to me it does not scream bullishness. So we're looking for today's candle to find continuation off of yesterday. Will it? Nobody knows. Feed the kitty? Yeah, it's not wanting to be fed. He comes in to tell me that his mommy has left. Now open the door. Yes, boss. All right. Nah, he's good. He's not. We feed him as soon as we wake up. That's the first thing we do. Unemployment claims just came in. What were the numbers? I don't pay attention to much news. Obviously, the bigger news headlines I pay attention to, like NFP, which we'll have this Friday. So we'll probably be doing another live stream during NFP. That's tomorrow, right? Is NFP tomorrow? It should be. This is the first week in August. So we should have NFP tomorrow. Oh, you piece of crap. Yep, NFP tomorrow. That's another thing we got to take into account. Like, today could just end up being a choppy range-bound day based solely on the fact that NFP's tomorrow. And market participants might want to see that number before they throw down positions. But that's Bitcoin on your current daily range. And we were looking for a short on SPX based on weekly res. Yes, Bitget supports API. I just used it yesterday. Awesome. Thank you, my friend. Unemployment claims. I don't know what that is or how it affects the market. WPM. Hello, Michelle. Meow indeed, meow. Yeah, he definitely likes to talk. He's a talker. I'm gonna get a better microphone set up too, where like a lot of that echo and outside noise won't be as intrusive on the live streams, but that's gonna be later on. You're the best person I've met besides my lady. I love your art for what you were done for me. Awesome. I'm glad I was able to help. That's all I was trying to do, is just help. Look at BNB BTC, please. On Binance, since it's Binance token. Damn it, that's the wrong chart. Hang on, I want to use it over here. Oh wait, BNB BTC. Binance chain on trading against Bitcoin. I mean, that thing is bullish. There's nothing else that you can say. It's been bullish since Binance has been following the asset. I mean, you were trading sideways for a very long time, but you've broken out of the range and you've gotten continuation. So I wouldn't be shorting it, but I'm not buying it up there either. No way. No way, Jose, because it's bullish and at any moment it could roll over. And then you risk buying the literal top. And that was never fun when I was a new trader. Take a long position just to watch it be the exact top. Like, the exact top. No, you couldn't have got any higher. Yeah, it's never fun. Yeah, I mean, it's bullish. I don't know what else you want me to say. You got to wait for either a new support to be formed once the bullishness slows its roll, or look for an old bullish or an old support. Right there's an old support. It traded at it once it was made for 3 days. You had an opportunity to get long. And this one only was 1 day. Boom, boom. That was based off demand, right? Right there, just traded down to it. Boom. I mean, it looks like it trades good. Kind of simple. Put in a bear trap here. And then next day you knew. Then you would have been looking for bullish entries at support. I mean, it looks good. It trades good. I wouldn't do anything with it right now, though, my friend. Is all. What in the world? Yeah, I wouldn't do anything with it right now. Ugh, that still looks terrible for Bitcoin. Everything else looks good. Everything else is rolling away from what we wanted to see it roll away from. Right there's where we wanted to see the SPX breakdown. Right there's where we got short on the euro. We want to see Bitcoin roll over as well. We got 5 minutes until the open. Yo, Heath, what's up, Ahmad? Can you please check Rose USDT? Yeah, hang on. Let me just roll back up a little bit. I'm a beginner into leverage. Not smart. Small amounts on 3x. Awesome. Actually, I take not smart back. That is good. If I can make enough for 30 rack of bush light, I'm a person after my own heart. I make my bush case and I'm done for the day, sucker. Give me a beer. Love it, man. Keep it up. Just stick around. You'll learn here, I promise. You'll learn the things that you should be doing and the things that you shouldn't be doing. If you want to learn. If we lose the weekly open, if we lose the weekly open, and then comma, do we take the trade on the hourly time frame on a retest and failure of the weekly open? All right, so no. You will look for an intraday resistance that ends up being formed around the weekly open, right? Because 1 hour inside of a weekly range is nothing. That would be like taking a 1 second test of an hourly candle. No, right? So price will more than likely form a support intraday. So like your hourly candles should form a line of support around either above or below that weekly, if the weekly is going to cooperate as a short trade, right? So pretend this is the weekly, right? You would want to see something like this, right? Breakdown, but you're trading at or around it. Then you can focus on the resistance either just below it or the resistance just above it, but not just off of an hourly test of the weekly. Nope, because you'll get hurt. Like even daily levels, sometimes the hourly candles will kiss it and then roll over, right? Sometimes, not always though. Sometimes you'll get an hourly close above a daily level and then back below the daily level, then back above the daily level, then back below the day. You see what I mean? That just means that a lot of volume is accruing there. So you would be watching resistance. And that's another thing that's got me bearish on Bitcoin today. I mean, let's just pull up its intraday volume. If I can find it, because I accidentally deleted it. Oh, it's changed. Wow, look at that. It was up here. So never mind. On the short trade, people are buying the 200. Will they be right? I don't know, but the point of control was up here. Now it's look at this, man. Yeah, be careful. Be careful taking the short. I wish I'd have looked at that earlier. I mean, you can clearly see that the point of control doesn't really matter, right? Price trades in, up, around, through, both side, below. Damn it, it just froze again. That's got something to do with the computer because I seen my other screen flip out as well. Yeah, be careful, guys, taking that short position. Now that volume is basically getting done down there. So it looks like people are buying it. And we got 1 minute, right? 1 minute. Let's see what happens here. Let's get it back on all 4 screens because all of these are going to matter. All right. What I'd like to see potentially is just a spike up, liquidate, stuff, and then come right back down. If that happens, I won't care too much about the point of control being there because it could be sellers as well. We don't know if these are buyers or sellers. We know that the 200 EMA cuts right through the middle of price, essentially. So, more than likely, it's buyers. There's your 200, simple on the weekly. But more than likely, it's buyers. But, I mean, we have been here so many times already this week alone. There it is. Let's see what happens. Carl Moon just posted he's buying Bitcoin. I don't know who that is. Really don't care either. I mean, what does that mean? It's at the 200, so if you want to be a buyer on Bitcoin, buy it up, right? That's the 200. But wait for it to get there first. Make your risk to reward better. Don't buy it up here because right now we're kind of focused on this thing for shorts. It's failing. Let us be patient. It's at hourly res. That's intraday resistance. This is the yesterday's open. This would be the level that I would much rather buy, right, than hourly res, but it seems to be holding. All right, so what is this price? 22947. What is it on Bitget? On Bitget, it is 22938. Set a limit buy or a limit sell 22938. 100% of the position. And then we will set a stop loss up there. $222,938. Oh, that's nowhere around. Your stop has to be up there. So there's we go. We're pushing up into yesterday's open. Let me find yesterday's open. I do know that on Bitget, I do have my time frames the same, or my time zones exactly the same on Bitget as I do right now. Like right now on the daily time frame, Bitget shows a damn bearish candle and it's at support. That is crazy, man. And it's the exact same UTC-4 time zone. But it shows that. So I can't get yesterday's open on Bitget. All I can do is pull this down to that support level. That's what we want to see. And I didn't get filled. Monkeying around. Let's see if I can get filled at 22,931. Alright. I got a limit set at 22,931 on Bitget. And I'm going to set my stop loss at 23,023 spot 50. Let's see if that's a good risk to reward even. It don't seem like it. No, it's not. It's going to be like, yeah, it is. It's a 2-to-1 risk to reward still with a stop over this swing high. Yeah, I mean, that's what I got mine set as. So, I mean, this looks good to me as long as that keeps happening. And I did just take a fill on Bitget. Stop loss, 23,025. And I want 100% of that position to close if we get up there. So, I mean, we'll watch him. Trading well above that now. Let me answer some more questions if I can get this thing out of my way. Rose, yeah, let's go over here and look at it. I mean, we are trying to trade here, bub. No, I'm kidding. Rose, what was it? Rose USDT? Because you just said Rose there. I'll go up. Someone also asked me if I could look at coin GVA. I missed them. Let me try Rose USDT because I can't find your comment. We'll look at it on Binance. I mean, if it's a crypto, not all of them are going to follow suit with Bitcoin, but most of them will, right? It looks like it's finding resistance. I mean, I would have took the short on it, more than likely. But it's stalling at support, so you can't short it right now. But earlier you could have. Today, right? When you tested it and then rotated back down. But it's more than likely going to follow whatever Bitcoin does. Would I buy this after that explosive move? No. You should have been a buyer down here. Or, you know, once this support was put in, anywhere close to that, that would have been your buying opportunity. Up here isn't. You were overbought, right? And it looks like it's stalling out. This thing is probably going to do whatever Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin rotates lower today, and has a big move lower, this thing probably will break support. Because you're trading right at support currently, right this second, if that makes sense. I mean, right this second, you're trading at support. So if you think Bitcoin's going to go up today, then maybe this is a good place to be a buyer. But I don't like to chase price. So once the move's already happened, to me, I'm like, you know what I mean? Because buying support would have been the trade on it. So what you guys need to do is you need to go through all your favorite cryptos and find the lowest daily support. And then watch that price. Wait for price to trade into it. Then look to be a buyer. I mean, if you would have bought that, look at what happened 3 days later. So train your brain to buy support if you're bullish. If you're bearish, train your brain to sell resistance. Don't buy these things once they start moving, because you're just going to get hurt. You're going to end up buying the top. That was the only trade on it. Right now, you're just waiting. It is holding as support. And to be fair, like, watch the 4-hour time frame. So you got your first 4-hour closure below. Right now, you're seeing if it can make like a bullish engulfing. If you get above that, then maybe look for one more test of it to get long. If it stays looking like this, or even close under, this is done. It's probably coming down to 0.0734. Maybe, all right? So Bitcoin doesn't know what to do. For 15 minutes, we have been stalling. SPX is doing exactly what we wanted it to do. So is Euro. Bitcoin isn't. I'll be right back. I need to get something. All right, I'm back. Yardman showed up. He shows up at weird times. Did everyone just lose audio? Yeah, I cut it off. Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. No sound, Heath. Yep, all good. All right. Yeah, I had muted it so I could go to the kitchen. This square squeaks a lot. It's a very squeaky chair, so try to be as quiet as possible. Like I said, this microphone picks up everything. It's one of the crappiest microphones that's out there. I get a new one, but it's gonna take a little time. Because to get the one I want, it's kind of expensive, and I don't like putting that much money in this stuff. But now I'll be live a lot more than I used to be. So we're getting a push back up on the euro, back up to our entry. I usually have a rule to where if price pushes back up to my entry 1 hour after I've been in the trade, I will exit the position. See this? And Bitcoin's been trading at this area for close to an hour. So it's telling me that it's just not doing what I want it to do. The range expansion should have already happened. There's another test that's going right on up there to stop that out. Let's see if it keeps going. I was just stopped out. Let's see what it does now. SPX getting a bounce. This doesn't look like a stop run. Not yet, it don't. And that's not that big of a candle either. Let's look at it on the hourly. There's, oh shit. There's the 4 hour. Coming into 4-hour resistance where what was it? Was it Will? Yeah, Will was like, do we sell it if we get up to 4-hour resistance? Well, now you're going to get your answer, Will. I was just stopped out, so I'm not taking it again. But you can if you wish. Usually when you run a high like that, if you start to reject back again, it's probably pretty good that it's going to continue to roll over, but we'll see. We will see. BTC is getting a lift from Coinbase news. What Coinbase news? I haven't taken anything yet, bud. Awesome. Well, that's the level that you were watching, right? 4-hour resistance. It's holding support for the last few 4-hour sessions. It stalled at support, rolled over. Now you're coming back up to tag resistance. SPX getting a pop. What is the Coinbase news? Oh. Well, it's getting hit. It is gapping up. Coinbase in partnership with BlackRock on Bitcoin. Yeah, that will do it. News is news. You know, there's no way to interpret it, or not interpret it, but to expect it, right? We eat stops. That's part of trading. We were just wrong on the directional bias today. So maybe that news is enough to keep Bitcoin up off of that 200 weekly. I mean, that's typically where you want to be a buyer on the 200 week. Or it has been in Bitcoin's entire history. It's been a good spot. That's a pretty good gap up too. It gapped up 42%. Let's see if it's on the hot list. No, I don't see it. It should be up there. This one's at 40%. The SPX also got a bullish bounce. So, I mean, I'm not sure if it was the Coinbase news that would cause that move on the SPX, guys. Let's get over here. The SPX is trading above yesterday's close. That is bullish. It's not bearish. It's just, it was at resistance is all. What is, whatchamacallit doing? Nice. Got another move up, but it looks like it might be running out of steam. We will see. Bitcoin's up 1.25% on the day. The Aussie trade is the only one that got any kind of a move lower. And now it's starting to bounce. And it's bouncing off of demand. So that would have been the profit target. I probably should have said something about that. Damn it. But yeah, that would have been your profit target, taking the Aussie intraday short. But to be fair, it never gave an entry. Never did give you an entry. It might have on Oanda. Nope. Didn't on Oanda either. And I don't know what that is. Yesterday's open or close. Yeah. So this was from news. And so far it's just been getting, the news has been being faded. I'm still short this asset. I'm short from up here. So we'll see. And on the daily, I mean, it doesn't look bearish. You traded right down to the 50 and got a bounce. But you did break below support. Multiple supports. Stokes is turning down. But these are lagging indicators. They follow price. Did it again. Yesterday, Bitcoin looked bullish all day until 4 o'clock. This is a different exchange, and look how much different those candles are. That's yesterday on this chart. Wow. Let me go back over here. Completely different. Yeah, that's pretty much not like a liquidation. A liquidation would just be a wick up and then an instant reversal. It looks like you're going to see maybe it finds resistance higher, but the high probable entry was taken and stopped. The ambient sound of the lawnmower is a nice touch, though. All right. I can't do anything about it because my grass needs to be cut. As to placing the stop loss, how far? I usually just look for like my stop loss was here, right? Because with the stop there and the entry there, a fresh low a day was a 2-to-1 risk to reward. So basically what I'm looking for is I'm looking for old swing highs. This is an intraday chart, so I mean, just wrong on the bias altogether. Wrong on the bias. This is where it got a bounce from yesterday evening, and then it rolled over. So it's been completely faded. It's just choppy sideways intra-week price action. It sucks. It can't make up its mind if it wants to go up or down. So looking for trend continuation trades in that scenario is difficult. This is a very tight range. So buying up there and selling up there is, not really good. But we've had a bullish bias up until today when we just couldn't get anything going up there. Maybe today's the day it does. Who knows? And then the news might be faded too, right? Okay, a bunch of yeses I can hears. These live sessions are sweet. Thank you very much. Taking a dump. That's good to know. I don't know which asset you were talking about. Coinbase up 32%. Yeah, it is. It is. I guess some news came out. Brian Basement is selling. Yeah, we just looked at coin. Damn. Yeah, it was a nice move up, but so far it hasn't been able to do anything this morning. But I mean, the move happened pre-market, so it's not really much you can do about it. Not for buying options or anything. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a nice rip to the upside. Maybe look for the gap to fill and then look for support later on. First place to look would obviously be that day's close because it's old resistance. And Euro USD still not quite stopped out on it, but the day is still young. So like I was talking about earlier, if I take a position and then an hour later it's still either at or above my entry, I'll just close the position instead of eating a full stop. Because if my trade was right, it should have just left the area. Like this one here, just left the area. This is a 5-minute wick straight up to liquidation down. And then you would have been taking profits at the low day. Can't win them all, guys. Can't win them all. VIX is up today, but it's being faded. Not much. big move up on the VIX last week. Now it's essentially right, getting close back to support. We were talking last weekend about buying $21 calls just because it was at support. You would have had to do it Friday, because Monday it opened up here. But it's going back down. So it looks like risk is on for today. SPX still in decent shape for the short. Right? If you're still in that, you're still okay. Bitcoin gonna get faded now. It's not likely. Who knows? A lot of volatility this morning. After we got out of that. Not much doing since. SPY opened up. Had a move up. Opened up from yesterday's close. No, it didn't. It opened down from yesterday's close. It still may hold. Just a pullback. Let me see here. I'll read a few more of these questions. Where are you taking profits on euro? I just closed the euro trade because it's not moving in my direction. Right? Not moving my direction. There was the news beginning 7 o'clock in the morning, got the expansion lower. Then we traded right back up to where the news happened. So we essentially faded the entirety of the move. So we were waiting, watching on the 1 hour supply there. We got up there, we closed under it, so we took the trade based on that. All right? But it hasn't went anywhere for an hour. We got the move lower. It was looking good. Low of day is where you target. This is low of day. Well, actually, this is low of day. I would just, usually we target the support or resistance before low of day. This would have been a fantastic place to take profits. We just didn't get there because it's not doing what we want it to do. Just garbage price action we've seen in the last couple of days. Garbage. Aussie was the only short that worked. USD JPY is moving lower. The DXY is lower. So this is probably why everything is trying to move higher. There's the pound short that we missed. USD CAD spiking up off of hourly support. Test of demand gone. Aussie yen down on the day a little bit. We've looked at that one. Ethereum up 1.5%. Moving up. So the same thing, just trading sideways. Disgusting. Trading sideways. I was looking at this the other day for a short. We missed it, and then it traded right back up and did what we were looking for that day. Remember how I was looking for this day for it to do a liquidity grab and then go lower? We did it there, but then we traded up. Now it's starting to roll over. Just choppiness, man. Everywhere you look, choppy. All right. Down, down, down. Oh, I lagged as you did, haha. The ambient sound, got that. As to placing the stop loss, how far above the wick high do you place it? Just above it. Just above it. Yeah, it looks like it. BlackRock News, Coinbase partnership. Yeah. We too late for longs? Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're looking to take your positions from 7 in the morning to 10 in the morning, right? In New York time. So that's Eastern Standard Time. If you would have been looking for shorts, man, you would have been focused at support. So like each day you're going to get a range. You're going to be, depending on where you are in the range. We were looking for shorts like down here because it looked like price was targeting this wick low. Simply because we liquidated the range high yesterday. So I was looking for downside continuation. And got some random Coinbase news that screwed all of that. Screwed it all up. But there's nothing that says that it would have won anyways. Right? There's nothing to say that it would have won anyways. Nothing at all. Hilton's getting crushed. Not a lot of stuff is red either in this. I mean, let's go over here and look at some tech and stuff. A lot of stuff is up. Mara up 10% based on the news. Fiverr up 11% on the day. AMD up. Apple up. Barely up, but it's still up. Amazon's up. Intel's down. A lot of green. A lot of green. Can you give us a look at ETH? Yeah, I mean, it looks exactly like Bitcoin. Not exactly like it, but it's pretty damn close. It's chopping inside of a weekly range, a very small, tiny weekly range. But this one, you know, this was the level we're looking for at Bitcoin, which is just last week's open to hold a support. ETH tested it and got a bounce from it. But if you go intraday and look, I mean, you've been all up and through it, right? And even though you got this hourly spike, it doesn't mean that you're going to see bullish price action today. Remember, Bitcoin didn't roll over until 4 p.m. yesterday because we were looking to short Bitcoin yesterday. We were looking for shorts right here. And then it just screwed around for 5 hours. So Bitcoin might have just done only that. Liquidate everybody, then go down. This is the target that I was looking for right there. Once we get there, or if it gets there, I want to see it tag last week's open, and then I want to see that hold as support. So moving on, like maybe today, later on in the day, if it does roll over and tag this, watch how price acts at it. If you just push, leave it alone. But like, if you just tag it and, you know, start to form like hourly supports around it, might be a good spot to look for buys. I don't know. As long as it's holding it, because that's the level at which we wanted to be bullish. And you can see like this wick here and that wick there. So I wouldn't doubt it if it didn't push a little bit lower than that. It's just been disgusting all week. Hasn't went anywhere. Nowhere. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Garbage trading. All right. I just can't get a handle on it. We were bullish at support trying to sell it. Dude, listen. It's my bias will be wrong sometimes. That's just the way trading is. I'm trying to find high probable entries based on knowledge that I see in front of me with the caveat of I don't know what it's going to do. You know what I mean? We've taken 3 trades this week. 2 of them winners, 1 of them loser. We took that Euro trade was also a loser, so never mind. I took that off at a loss. It's just that's how trading is. It's impossible to know what it's going to do. The best case scenario is if you're bullish, buy support. If you're bearish, sell resistance. We were at the lows. Looking for continuation from this stuff there. Looking for a pullback and then another move lower. Right? Because this liquidity is ripe for the taking. That was what based the trading decision today. And it was obviously wrong. No entry on SPY short after the market opened. No, there wasn't. Nope. Could you see a low of the month in 2 weeks of the month? Yes. Yes. You could see a fresh monthly low or a fresh monthly high put in on the last day of the month. Yes. It's about probabilities, right? There's a higher probability that the higher low will be in, before the middle of the month. You can do all that work yourself. Like, you don't have to take my word for it. You can, especially you coders out there, you can backtest and see just how often it happens. It doesn't happen all the time. So if it doesn't happen all the time, there is those, what is it, like 68% of the time it happens. So, the other 32% of the time it doesn't happen. It's about probabilities. Nothing works in trading all the time. Nothing. There is nothing that has a 100% hit rate. The commentary is great. Thank you, Jim. Jimenez. Agreed on commentary. It probably doesn't seem like anything to Heath, but live hearing the thinking. Yeah, it does. To me, it's a little bit nerve-wracking because I'm trying to operate the way that I normally do, but I'm live, so I'm also trying to make sure other things are operating properly, and stuff like that. And also, if I'm looking at an asset for somebody else, that means I got my eyes off of the other two screens, so I won't see something that I should see. But it's all right. Get out of Coinbase at 110. Screw that. Got out of Coinbase at 110. Yeah, I remember when 250 looked cheap on Coinbase, and now it doesn't. Thankful for the pump. Been holding for months. There you go. Boom. Shakalaka. Take profits, man. BlackRock News effed up our trade. Possible. 100% possible. That's something that I cannot account for. Is news. And day is not over, brother. You might still be right. Yeah, maybe. It's looking less and less like it, but we'll see. You're green on the day by 1%, so it's like nothing major. It's just how tight the range is. Very tight. This is your weekly range. The weekly looks like it hasn't went anywhere. Look at this. Just bing, bing. Nowhere. So tiny. Yuck. That is disgusting compared to the range we seen last week. 27 to 24. So we've seen a damn near $4,000 move last week. This week, we're trading inside of $1,000. Not fun. Difficult. Looking for trend continuation in a choppy environment will get you hurt sometimes. And we've seen that today. We were looking for downside continuation from yesterday's bullish engulfing that turned into a bearish candle. Everything says that we were looking for downside trades today and at yesterday's open, right? It just didn't work. Random market violence. That's the term I have coined for it because that's all it is. 22,500, then fly, mofo. 22,500. Yeah. Support held. Coinbase news is the reason, and it's a big news. Yeah, it is big news. That's huge news. So you're probably likely going to see bullish continuation. Is Kraken down for anyone? I don't use Kraken anymore, so apologies. I can't answer that. If anybody else uses Kraken, please let Jack know if it is working for them or not. Please and thank you. Let's just go look and see what we have there. Nothing's up big, right? IWM is still neutral on the day. Did have a lower push. This is small caps or mid caps, whatever you want to call it. Literally not doing anything, but it's been trending higher. I mean, right? Order flow's bullish. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22,500. 22 So to save you some time, just wait until you break down before you look for shorts. I mean, it's been bullish for a while. Well, that's going to make the trend line a little bit more parabolic, but it is what it is still, right? It doesn't mean the short trade will work either, because nothing happens all the time. Working for DD. DD says it's working. Euro USD is above weekly demand. Yep. The Euro trade did not work. Did not work. It's bullish. Yeah. There's weekly demand. Good job. Good call. I didn't even see that. Is that where she stalled out, though? No. I mean, we got a big solid push lower. So, I mean, if you look at what we were looking at for short trade here, was simply this candle. We broke down, we traded back up into it, and we stalled out. But this candle right here told me get out, right? And I'm glad I did, because I would have ate a full stop, and there was no point. With this strategy, when you're right on direction, you're going to know within 25 minutes. You're going to know. If you're still stalling around and fizzle-fazzling at your entry, there's a good chance that, like an hour later, there's a good chance that you're wrong. A really good chance. So 5 minutes, here's the trade that we took based off of it getting back under the level. There's the entry at 9:05, 9:40, 9:50, 10 o'clock. There's the entry. Still, nah, just close that. Just close it. Don't eat a full stop. When you're right, it's going to work out like this. That's usually how it works for us. We know quickly if we're right or wrong. And look at the pound trade. As soon as we wicked up above that, I would have took the sell trade right there. Put my stop right there. And we would have known instantly that we were right. Bitcoin, first attempt at the short was there. We missed it because this is where it was when I was just getting logged on, right? How much time is that? That passes 8 a.m. to damn near 10 o'clock. So almost 2 hours Bitcoin trading at the entry. Just get out of it. Get out. It's not working. Great stream yesterday and a great stream today. Thank you. You are welcome, my friend. News is being sold, recovered so fast lately. Could do the same. Yeah, but that's just, at that point, you're just essentially gambling. There is no high probable trade to take up here. This was it. And obviously people were taking it. All right? Because look how long price stayed under. This was the level, not this one. This level. The price, all it did was just essentially gathered up a lot of liquidity by looking like it was going to continue from this stuff right here. And yeah, it still might. You could spike up to there and then roll over. It's random market violence. We try to operate within it. But yeah, it's 100%. You could see this news get sold off and you could see our target get hit later on in the day. But there's no probabilities that are on your side with that. It's just you saying it might. Like, I like to take trades where probabilities are on my side. And then never sell into support, never short into support. Well, technically, this is down here as our target. And there wasn't really support here. But it's down here. But it did form intraday there. That it found support, man. So we just got to be able to read the market and pretty much know when we're not going to be right. We did take the entry late on this. So I wanted to instantly see it just start to roll over. and it didn't do that. It's all good. We'll get it tomorrow. And tomorrow, since tomorrow is going to be NFP, we'll go ahead and do a live stream publicly as well. Just because it's NFP, right? I like to trade NFP, and you guys should see how I do it. Essentially, I just trade it the same way I would have traded pound today. I let price action form a range. Usually I'm trading Euro USD or Pound USD. But since Pound USD had a big move based off of its rate decision, we'll look at Euro tomorrow. And obviously we'll trade Bitcoin as well, depending on what it's doing when NFP rolls around. We'll look for targets, entries. We'll talk it over. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here in a second. Not to trade, more in observation. There's been 1.5% 5-minute candles. What does that mean? Like, you've seen candles big as 1.5% on Bitcoin before? I mean, there's a 5-minute candle. It was 0.8%. Yeah, it's possible. This candle here is a big one. 0.9%. Yeah, you could see 1.5% candles. I'm not sure. I might be reading that wrong. 22.872, 2-hour support, long entry. What do you say? Based on what we're seeing today and yesterday and the day before, I'm leaving it alone. Let me see if that lines up with 22.878. Yeah, that's 2-hour support for sure. But I mean, what does that tell you if you're back down there when we were looking for a short? Right? If we were looking for shorts and it spiked us out and comes back down there, I don't know if I'd want to get long. Then it starts to look like the short trade might end up working after all, just after stopping us out, which happens. Random market violence. All right, before I wrap it up, I'm going to say a few things. I got to show the link. So if you're new here and you don't know, we use Bitget to take our trades. It's a great exchange. It has the lowest fees out of every other exchange. It's a really good platform for intraday traders because we take entries multiple times per week, and those fees can get expensive if you're using other exchanges. You can literally watch all of your profits dwindle down to nothing just based on the fee structure. Higher leverage, higher fees, stuff like that. But they have the best, and their fills are great. You know, whenever you set an entry, I haven't had any problems of not being filled or, you know, price going through my entry but not getting triggered. None of that. Their entries are fantastic. I mean, the executions, I should say, are fantastic. It's a great exchange to trade for intraday traders. They have no KYC, so putting money in and out is seamless. You can go from cold storage to Bitget, and then for taking money from Bitget to cold storage seamlessly. Quick, simple, effective. And that's pretty much it. Another good thing is I haven't seen any scam wicks, right? Whatever happens on most exchanges is the typical price action, but you don't get those Kraken and Binance wicks where it's not there on any other exchange. You know, a 20% wick to the downside, a flash crash takes 2 minutes to happen. Yeah, you don't get that here. And I mean, it's a good place. If you want to try them out, use the link down in the description, and referral code would be XTSC. And thank you to all of you who have used it. As you know, I do get paid if you do use it. So thank you very much for that. It's not a lot of money, but it is what it is. I just got to do it. So thank you all for that. As far as would I take this long with that? I don't think I would. But you're there. You're getting close. If you want to take the long, I mean, you're testing it right now. Can it hold? Absolutely, because you're trading inside of this candle's range still. Right? It looks scary, but it's possible that it could hold. The news has essentially been sold off. So like if we go back into here, there's your new spike, right? This was the level we were looking for bearish entries. So the news has essentially been sold off because now we're back down below our entry. And that always sucks. That always sucks when that happens. But it's going to happen to everybody. So just get used to it. And there is your 2-hour support. So I guess continue to watch it. See what happens. I don't like it. Boom, boom. No, I wouldn't take it. Our bias today was lower. We were victims of random market violence. That's all. Yep, using the link. Thank you very much for that, my friend. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. We hit 94 people Tuesday. That's the most I think that this stream has ever held. And I mean, we maintained over 80 people for the majority of today. And I really appreciate you guys because obviously I know everybody's busy and stuff like that. But hopefully people get some use out of this stuff. And I'll continue to do it. You guys have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comment section as I am going to be around the computer all day today. I will answer those questions for you. You guys have a fantastic day. Make sure you trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading, everybody.